Hello, everyone. Many years ago, I got this book from a bookshop. I read it, I took a lot of lessons out of it, and that lesson I want to share with you. This is about Coca-Cola dynasty, founded by a pharmacist many years ago in the late 19th century, Dr. John Stitt Pemberton. John Stitt Pemberton was addicted to morphine after he survived the Civil War. He was placed on that drug. So he was looking for another thing that could relieve, both headache, stress, and the rest. So in his lab, he was able to make this concoction that became a syrup. So the concoction, he will get a syrup, pour a carbonated water on it with the effervescence, and people enjoy drinking it. So he was selling it in Jacob's pharmacy within Atlanta. People were buying, they would just get a bit of the syrup, they pour the water in the carbonated water, and people were enjoying and paying just 5 cents. After that, he became sick and they needed money. He had one son, Charlie, and they needed money. So they approached another pharmacist called Asa Candler and offered him the formula, the name, for just $2,300. You can't believe it. The son didn't ask for shares. He said, give me the cash. He gave them the cash, treated their father. The father died. So 3 years before the father died, Asa Candler has taken it over, seen this thing as a business, decided to open it up, was not advertising it as medicine or drug. Started advertising it as a refreshing drink and was sending it to places, developed the business and was sending it to every pharmacy around within Atlanta. And people were drinking. They drink, they pay. And people keep coming back to drink more and pay. And as a Candler, from there, I made a lot of money and built mansions, sponsored university, sponsored all kinds of things. Made a lot of money and went into politics because he had gotten a lot of money. But before going into politics, he now bequeathed the whole thing to his 5 children, 4 boys and a girl. So they had the business for only 3 years while their father was the mayor in Atlanta. And they had upon the fact that they were making profit, they decided to sell it, outright sell. And the price at then was a killer. But there is this group that came, a syndicate, headed by a man they call Robert Woodruff. Woodruff now led this syndicate and bought that same formula and brand for $25 million. That was in 1919, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what happened? Or what am I picking from here? Asa Candler took that business to another level, made a lot of money. The children would have made such money. Think of what they would have become by today. Do you know what Woodruff and his team did when they bought it? They went public immediately. They went to stock exchange and sold 500,000 shares of it at $40 per share. They realized $20 million immediately, which if the children of Candler had known it, they would have also not sold, or they would have sold part of it and still returned. Because the mother was sick, Asa Candler felt, okay, children, if that's all you want to do, I'll give it to you. Do whatever you want to do with it. It was painful to him, but he couldn't do anything because he had given up the business. So the children now went, gallivanting, using the money anyhow. In fact, one of them, the one they called Booth, who was an alcoholic, started building mansions. They were competing who would be the best mansion around Atlanta. And, one even had to set up a zoo, brought all kinds of animals. And they was going into all kinds of litigation. And that money was going down. And that $25 million, whooping sum as at that year. Because they didn't know what the father knew. The father didn't train them. He didn't avert his tacit knowledge on them. They may have gone to university, but that's not what we're saying. You need to catch them young. You need to teach them the business. You need to let your children know what you are doing about your business. If you don't train who will succeed you, they will sell it right before in your presence. They will sell that business concern. So it is good that you open up and make sure you are training your children beyond what they're learning in school. What they're learning in school is just normal grammar, numeracy, and the rest of things. But that skill on how to do it, entrepreneurship is a skill. And that's why I'm happy with the policymakers in Nigeria who are bringing entrepreneurship thread into the basic education. But what are the stakeholders doing? The teachers, the school owners are not embracing it. Parents are not even seeking and asking about it. That's the only way African can arise. That's the way the African child can become what he needs to become. And the children of Kandla sold it. They sold Coca-Cola. If they had retained even one share of that Coca-Cola as at then, they were selling it $40. Today, one share of Coca-Cola of that sort worth about $700,000. Today, Coca-Cola is a business that worth over $340 billion. And you can't miss it. You can't beat that. The man that bought it from them, Robert, he held it for more than 60 years before he died in 1985 and has taken it to another level. I'm coming to tell you how he was able to take it to another level. Thank you.